In the frozen corridors of the cosmos, where stars burn like distant promises, there is a sign that walks a path no other dares tread. It is not the fiery blaze of Aries, nor the fleeting whim of Gemini. It is Capricorn, the mountain climber, the solitary architect of destiny. But there is a shadow to this path, a hidden weight carried silently for lifetimes, a burden written in the cold stone of Saturn's rings, etched into the bones of those born under its rule. The world tells you that Capricorns are ambitious, disciplined, practical, but that is only the surface, the veneer of a much deeper truth. Because what they do not tell you is that Capricorns are born into a contract with isolation, a sacred exile, a journey that no one can walk with them. From the moment they take their first breath, the universe whispers a secret into their soul. You must climb alone. And it is a mountain unlike any other, not one of mere rocks or soil, but a peak forged from ancestral karma, from the echoes of those who came before, whose triumphs and failures linger like frozen mists. This is a mountain of responsibility so immense that even the air feels thin, so high that even the sun appears hesitant, casting cold shadows over the terrain of the Capricorn soul. Every step forward is met with resistance, not from others, but from the gravity of their own inner discipline, from the crushing weight of expectations that are both imposed and self-inflicted. Saturn, the great teacher, looms like an ancient sentinel, its rings a frozen clock counting the slowest of cosmic seconds. Its lessons are not gentle. They are merciless, precise, and unavoidable. Patience becomes a sword, endurance a shield, and every failure, every misstep is a stone added to the weight they carry. The world often misunderstands this burden, labeling it as coldness, detachment, ambition without heart. But the truth is far darker and infinitely more profound. Capricorn is not cold because they lack warmth. They are cold because warmth, unchecked, is a luxury they cannot afford. Emotional indulgence is a risk they cannot take because every vulnerability is a precipice, every attachment a potential avalanche. From the outside, they may appear composed, calculating, even serene. But inside, there is a tempest. The shadow of Capricorn is the suppression of feeling, a vaulting of pain into the deepest caverns of the psyche, where it accumulates like sediment, silent, heavy, inevitable. Childhoods are often marked by early responsibilities, by the perception that the world will not wait, that survival is not a right, but a duty. And so, Capricorns learn to bear silently, to endure without complaint, to trust only in their own strength. There is a reason the ancients revered Saturn with both awe and fear. It is the bringer of structure, of limitation, of inevitable reckoning. But it is also the teacher of time, of cycles, of inevitability. Capricorn's soul is intertwined with this rhythm. Their victories are earned through solitude, their wisdom forged in the crucible of silence. They inherit a legacy not of immediate gratification, but of delayed mastery. The mountain is not merely climbed, it is understood, slowly over the decades, through trial, through heartbreak, through the slow accumulation of experience that others may never witness. And yet, there is something almost mystical about this isolation. For in solitude, Capricorn learns a truth that the rest of the zodiac cannot comprehend. They understand the architecture of cause and effect, the invisible strings of destiny, the way decisions ripple across lifetimes. Theirs is a mind attuned to cosmic patterns, a heart capable of enduring what most would flee from. They carry the ancestral wisdom of those who survived harsh winters, who built empires from stone and sweat, who faced the inevitability of mortality with unwavering resolve. This is the inheritance of Saturn: rigor, discipline, responsibility, and an almost unbearable weight of consciousness. But the shadow persists. Capricorns often mistake their duty for their essence. They climb, they toil, they endure. But in doing so, they may lose sight of the delicate thread of their own humanity. The fear of vulnerability becomes a cage, the need for control a prison. They hide their suffering behind a mask of composure, believing that if anyone sees their pain, they will collapse, that the mountain will overwhelm them. And in this self-imposed exile, loneliness becomes not a condition, but a companion, whispering lessons in the language of frost and stone. There is a karmic dimension to this solitude. Capricorns are the inheritors of cycles that began long before their birth. Ancestors whose ambitions were thwarted, whose mistakes left residue in the bloodline, whose unhealed wounds echo in the very marrow of the bones. And so the mountain is not only theirs to climb, it is theirs to understand, to reconcile, to purify. Their journey is a spiritual excavation, an unearthing of debts owed to time, to history, and to themselves. Every step is a negotiation with fate, every decision a reckoning with the echoes of those who came before. The lessons of Capricorn are not lessons of comfort. They are lessons of endurance, of patience, of humility before the vast machinery of the cosmos. They learn that every structure must be built stone by stone, that every empire must endure winters of neglect and storms of doubt. And they learn that power without discipline is hollow, that authority without self-awareness is tyranny, that the summit is only meaningful when it has been earned through relentless, solitary labor. There is a certain darkness in this path, a shadow that others rarely glimpse. The shadow of Capricorn is not malevolent, it is necessary. It is the embodiment of the lessons the universe insists upon. The suppression of immediate gratification, the refusal to seek external validation, the willingness to endure discomfort for the sake of growth. All of these are burdens that weigh upon the soul. And yet, in the darkness, there is illumination. For the Capricorn learns to see the world with unflinching clarity, to navigate complexity with wisdom, to understand the consequences of action with a depth that others never attain. Love, for Capricorn, is a minefield. The heart is a fragile instrument, easily shattered by betrayal, disappointment, or neglect. And so, they guard it with layers of caution, protecting it behind walls that even they sometimes cannot penetrate. They desire connection, yet they fear it. For intimacy demands a surrender they are not always willing to give. Vulnerability is a precipice, and trust is the rope that must be earned over a lifetime. Yet those who breach their defenses, even briefly, experience a devotion and depth unlike any other, a loyalty forged in the crucible of struggle, tempered by the knowledge that few will ever understand the heights and depths of their inner world. Capricorns are also intimately acquainted with failure. They carry the scars of ambition thwarted, of dreams deferred, of obstacles so monumental that others would crumble under their weight. And yet, they rise again and again, because the mountain teaches a discipline that cannot be avoided. Every failure is a lesson, every setback a stone to be placed deliberately in the architecture of their eventual mastery. They do not seek pity, they do not seek consolation. They seek understanding of themselves, of the world, of the immutable laws that govern existence. In astrology, Saturn is the ringed planet that enforces limits, that measures, that disciplines. Its influence upon Capricorn is relentless, shaping their character, their destiny, and their shadow. Time is both an ally and an adversary. It stretches their journey across decades, making every achievement hard-won, every victory bittersweet. They are architects of patience, engineers of endurance, and the most profound lessons of life are never given. They are earned silently, alone, on the frozen slopes of their karmic mountain. There is a mystical truth hidden within the Capricorn struggle. In their endurance lies transformation. The isolation, the burdens, the relentless discipline. It is all alchemy. Pain is transmuted into wisdom, solitude into clarity, struggle into a vision that pierces the veil of ordinary existence. They understand, perhaps instinctively, that mastery cannot exist without sacrifice, that power cannot coexist with ease, that the summit can only be reached by walking paths others fear to tread. The world sees Capricorn as pragmatic, stoic, reliable. But those born under this sign know the hidden reality. Every achievement carries a shadow, every success a toll, every relationship a test. They are the custodians of responsibility, the silent witnesses to the consequences of human action, the heirs of a karmic debt that spans generations. Their lives are not ordinary. They are trials, rituals of endurance, meditations in motion, climbing a mountain that stretches beyond the horizon of comprehension. And yet, despite the weight, despite the isolation, there is potential for transcendence. For the Capricorn who dares to confront the shadow, who dares to embrace solitude without succumbing to bitterness, who dares to trust the slow rhythm of Saturn, there emerges a power that is profound and unshakable. They learn not only to survive but to command, not only to endure but to understand, not only to climb but to transform the very mountain itself. Their spirit becomes the summit, their soul the peak, their consciousness a mirror of the universe's own relentless, patient grandeur. In mythology, Capricorn is the sea goat, a creature of duality, straddling land and sea, earth and water, the material and the spiritual. This duality mirrors the inner landscape of every Capricorn, the pull between ambition and emotion, between discipline and desire, between isolation and connection. Their path is to integrate these realms, to harmonize the peaks and the depths, to transmute the cold discipline of the mountain into the warmth of wisdom, into a mastery that is both human and divine. And in this integration lies the ultimate secret of Capricorn. The mountain is not simply a place to ascend. It is a mirror. The struggle, the burden, the isolation. It reflects the soul's potential. Every stone, every gust of wind, every shadow cast by the sun or the rings of Saturn is a teacher, a guide, a threshold to higher understanding. Those who learn this, who endure the silence, who embrace the cold, discover a truth that is rare and luminous, that the climb is not punishment, but purpose, that the solitude is not emptiness, but revelation, that the shadow is not darkness, but the path to awakening. Capricorn is a paradox. They are at once human and eternal, practical and mystical, burdened and blessed. They are the silent architects of destiny, the invisible weavers of fate, the keepers of wisdom earned through the relentless passage of time. And though they walk alone, though the mountain is steep and unforgiving, there is a quiet, unshakable grace in their journey, a grace born of endurance, insight, and the patient accumulation of experience that transcends the ordinary, that pierces illusion, that touches the eternal. This is the dark side of Capricorn, the mountain no one can climb for them, the isolation no one can remove, the shadow no one can lighten, and yet it is also their greatest gift. For in solitude, in struggle, in the slow, relentless ascent, they become more than themselves. They become witnesses to the architecture of fate, masters of endurance, alchemists of soul, and in the end, the mountain itself bends to their understanding, revealing not merely a summit but a horizon that stretches infinitely beyond the confines of human expectation. And if you are a Capricorn or no one, understand this: your path is not a curse nor a punishment. It is a sacred contract with the universe. The shadows you bear, the solitude you endure, the mountain you climb, these are not obstacles but the very instruments of your awakening. Step carefully, endure patiently, and climb without fear, for the summit is not simply a place, but a revelation of what you were always meant to become.